Welcome to the White Chair Beauty Series, episode
9?
11.
Oh.
So today, we're going to be going over the biggest decisions estheticians make deciding whether to be a solo esthetician or expanding and opening up a salon. And the pros and cons of it, the stress that comes with it. So this is just basically breaking down everything that, hey, should I be a solo esthetician or is it time for me to grow and add to my team?
Mm-hmm.
Which for us in the beginning, I remember we're like, oh, should we stay? Are we happy where we at? Or do we need to grow? And I was like, more, let's grow. And you're like, no, and then eventually, like, let's grow. So
Yeah. It always takes me a little time to get used to some of Sasan's ideas because
yeah, and then believing in
I get
yourself
scared.
and knowing that there's going to be more overhead, there's going to be more stress and more work.
Mm-hmm.
So
both
solo
paths,
estheticians is less work. When you're a salon, more work.
both paths can bring success, but they have, two totally different challenges.
Yeah.
So you got to figure out how to tackle those.
If you can handle the workload, but the pros, you're growing, you're bringing team members, you're helping other people, in the industry,
Mm-hmm.
you're making more money. Mm-hmm. But cons, you're stressed out.
You have no time for yourself ever.
The more higher volume of customers you get, more complaints you get.
Mm-hmm.
It's stuff like that you deal with. So it comes with the territory, doesn't it?
It does, yes.
So what are the biggest advantages of staying solo?
Well, if you stay solo, you have full creative control.
Yep.
For sure, which is great. You don't have to worry about anybody else. You don't have to
Micromanage anyone.
micromanage anybody's schedules. Honestly, I don't really micromanage anybody. I really try to hire people that I know can be an adult,
Mm-hmm.
come to work. Your schedule is definitely more flexible. I mean, I feel like I'm juggling all these different balls in the air constantly, my to-do list is never ending. And that's not my personal life either. It's just all of work, so
Yeah.
managing the employees, managing my schedule, clients, being client forward. And then that actually, we're open from 9 a.m. to basically 8 p.m. in Austin. And then in LA, we're open from 8:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. So because we're Austin time zone, we have to be available basically from 9 a.m. Austin time to 10:30 p.m. Austin time. So there's not a lot of breaks.
Yeah, I agree.
That can be tough, but it's up to you if you can do that. Like we are a team, so
Yeah.
we try to help each other out.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes he'll answer calls, sometimes I'll answer calls. If we can't answer a call, always a text. Being really good about customer service.
What I would add to it is, your profit margin.
Yeah.
So your margin is higher because you don't have payroll, you don't have anyone to pay. You put less money into marketing because it's just yourself. So your profit margin is higher, but you're limited on the profit margin. So you think, oh, I make more money, but usually when you spend more money, you make more money.
Exactly.
So when you onboard someone, maybe the first couple months you're breaking even or slightly negative, but then in the long term, you're going to be positive.
Yeah, when they start growing their clientele and people keep coming back.
Yeah. And that's why you always want to onboard someone that's comfortable, that's experienced,
Mm-hmm.
and they understand the industry where, hey, this is for the, what's the word I want to use? Long run. It's like for
it's not just like a
short journey. It's
yeah.
like it's going to be something you're going to stay put with us for a long time and
Mm-hmm.
growth with us. So if you find that one person, that's why onboarding is probably the hardest part.
It really is, and I've learned a lot from that. We should just do a episode on that.
Yeah, onboarding
But
is
also, you also want to find people with the same values as you, the same customer service. I mean, I always try to look for people that kind of have my personality. Some parts of my personality.
your
Obviously,
twin. You're looking for your twin out there.
I'm looking for twins.
Your doppelganger, what do they call it?
But honestly, we've had very good experiences. There's only been a few that didn't work out, but pretty much everybody we onboard, they stay with us for a long time and are happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Usually
I'm thankful for that.
we have our turnover rate's not that high.
Yeah.
And if they do decide to leave, they either move or they're looking for a new career or school. So we completely understand that. We respect that. And, that's life.
Yep. So what are some of the downsides to staying solo, would you say?
You limit yourself. So when you're solo, like I said, your profit margin, your limit, your ceiling of growth. So, imagine you can only see 10 customers a day. That's the max, where if you are not a solo esthetician, your team, you can see 20, 30. So, growth is one of it, your ceiling.
I think, just if I can interject, you definitely have to work more, because you have to keep working. Like I'm blessed because since I've had my daughter, I was able to work, a couple days less a week because we had other employees,
Yeah. Your ceiling, you're limited, your schedule. So it's a pro and a con on that.
Yeah.
So you can take time as a solo esthetician. You can't generally take time off whenever you want.
Yeah.
But when you have a team, you can be like, hey, you know what? Let's switch the schedules around, or let's do this.
Or if somebody calls out, you don't
calls
have anybody.
out.
Like if you're sick as a dog and you have
If
nobody
you're a solo
to,
esthetician, that's you. Like you lose your money for the day. It's not like someone's going to take
you
over.
don't get sick pay.
Yeah, you can't give yourself sick pay. But that comes with the territory of being a solo, and having a salon is you're flexible and you can manage that. Two is like if you're a solo esthetician, you say, hey, I want to go to Europe for 10 days. Well, how are you going to make money for 10 days?
Yeah.
Where's the income going to happen? And I see that a lot. Like when you talk to some solo estheticians around here and there, they're like, yeah, it sucks like going on vacation. Like if I do go on vacation.
Or they haven't been on vacation like for a long time because of that. Which
or if they do, they go local. Like they'll go like for example, if we're in LA, they'll go to Big Sur, or they'll go to San Francisco or something. They can't do a vacation longer than probably, let's say, 3 or 4 days.
Or you have to really plan for it and budget. Like that's what we did in the beginning, because we have family in Europe. And so we would have to budget, like we'd have to save up money and know that for those 10 days, we're not getting paid, right?
Yeah. And on top of that, not just that, but you have bills to pay still. So you have to still pay for your chair. So we're at a Salon Republic, so we pay weekly for our room. You still got to pay for everything else that comes with it, your booking system, your phone line system. That's if you add it on, but if you begin, you just have a booking system in your room is your primary overhead. You still have to pay for that, even though you're not working. So there's no vacation time for that either.
No.
So I think that's the downside of being solo is, you can't go on vacation like you do. We had an episode about this already. The burnout rate, you exhaust yourself. That's where the burnout comes out.
Yeah.
So now you can't go on vacation like you said. You can't. If you do go on vacation, you're limited on the time you can go. You're stressed out about your income, and that's when the burnout comes in. Like, all right, so if I had a team member, if I had a group of, 5, 6 team members, in the beginning before we started, you sure you want to leave that there? But yeah, that's when the burnout comes in,
and also you have to kind of plan for your future, because when I started, we didn't have any kids. And so I could give my all to the business, right? Like it was actually kind of a blessing because, I wasn't completely burned out. I think if I had had a child, it would have been much more difficult. But when I was getting ready to have our first son, that's when I hired my first person, because can you imagine 10 weeks of no pay? Like,
I know.
The state doesn't.
That's
give
when we
you
had our
really
first
anything.
onboard.
Yeah, that's when we had it, because we knew we had to.
We had to onboard someone, and then from there we got lucky. We got the right person, and we grew from there. Then we hired someone else, and then someone else, someone else. So it takes time, but you got to believe in yourself, and there's the pros and cons of it. But I was gonna mention something else, but I forgot.
About burnout, or?
Yeah, it was about burnout. I mean, if I remember, I'll come back to it. But I think burnout's is a added pressure. Why? Oh, this is what I was gonna say is similar to the real estate market. Like real estate agents come and go like that. You know, they get their license. They're there for a couple months. They're like, it's not for me. Same thing with their estheticians. They get their license. They do all that, and then they don't last long in the industry because of stuff like this.
Yeah.
Whether you want to be
Or
solo.
they want to grow so quick. You have to have patience in this industry. You know, you have to. It's not going to happen overnight, unfortunately.
Hi, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to the White Chair Beauty Series. As you know, we offer online courses where we teach brow laminations, lash lifts, and brow tinting. And if you're looking to sharpen your waxing skills, we also have a full brow waxing course available. Right now, you can get 50% off of any of our online courses when you use the promo code TheWhiteChair at checkout. So whether you're brushing up on your skills or adding something new to your service menu, this is the perfect time to jump in.
So, what makes you know when you're ready to hire someone on board the next person?
Well, for us, it was our books were I was booked out weeks in advance, and like you said, you had been wanting to do it for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
I was just scared, and then it kind of pushed me into it when I was going to go to maternity leave. So I knew I kind of had to, and it was actually the best decision ever.
Knowing your book. So,
But if
see,
you're booked,
know your hours of. So you look at your data analytics and saying, like, let's say there's 40 hours a week that you work. If you're busy X amount of hours based on your workload, then you know, hey, it's time for me to onboard someone. If I'm more than 80% booked all the time, I can onboard someone. Because you never know. Like, let's say you only work 9 to 5. You're not going to work. I know some people that work 8 to 8 or like they're crazy, like 9 to crazy hours. And they see when they get booked and they cut their hours short or something like that. You're going to sneeze. But so that's when you can onboard someone. When you first onboard, you don't want to onboard someone 8 hours. You want to do part-time. That's how we always onboard. We always do part-time and we work them into full-time. We're like, hey, we know, first of all, we got to see if you're the right fit.
yeah,
2 is, you're not going to be busy. We're going to,
you'll just be sitting there.
Right. So that's another episode of onboarding we can go into. But your desire, like your motivation to grow, to expand, I think plays a big role in knowing when you're ready.
Yeah, don't just do it for the money. You have to do it because you really want to. You have a passion. You have a drive. If you're just chasing dollar signs, it's not gonna.
Yeah, and then
be successful.
One thing that we knew, because we talked about this before, is setting up. Give yourself a weekly meeting or bi-weekly meeting, even if it's with yourself. Sit down with yourself, act like, at your board, your office or your house, wherever you are.
Yeah,
that's your boardroom. Where you sit down. You're your own CEO, your own boss, your own strategy, marketing. You basically do everything on your own. Your creative content. You're all in one.
Have you ever seen that? Sorry, have you ever seen that Instagram where they're like, "Hi, I'm the marketing coordinator," and then they're like, "Hi," and it's all the same person.
Yeah, that's
Hi,
reality. That's what you are. So you sit down in your room, in your office, in your boardroom, and you set up your goals. And you're like, my goal is to have 8 appointments a day. How am I going to achieve that? And then we talked about it. We do the 3-3-3 rule with 3 rebooks, 3 upsells, and 3 product sales and stuff like that. So that's how you grow. And then once you start hitting that number, you increase that number.
And then you give that to your employees once you have your employees.
But what I'm trying to get at with that is you set up goals, and then once you start hitting those goals,
then you
make new goals, and then you're like, all right, my next goal is onboard someone and make sure that they have 3 appointments a day, and then 5 appointments a day, and then 8, and then you're like, once they hit their goals, you hire the next person. But it's really hard. Like I can't see. I mean, unless you have a lot of money that you saved up, like a couple $100,000, or let's say $100,000, you can survive for like 8 months without worrying about, I haven't made money. Then you can go directly to a storefront, invest so much money into guerrilla marketing, traditional marketing, digital ads, where they're sitting there, they're not getting paid, or they're breaking even, or you're losing $500 a day, But eventually in the next 6 months,
They'll get busy,
they
and
get
then
busy.
you'll make your money back.
That's if you do it the right way. And if you don't do it the right way, then you fail and you're like, why did I fail? Why did this happen? So I always say start off slow so you can understand the industry, and then from there.
And you have to have all the pieces in place. It's just like that old saying of like the person, like I always watched the Gordon Ramsay, where these people that are restaurateurs, they literally buy a restaurant and they don't know anything about the business.
So what have you done in the past? I'm a doctor.
Like nothing.
I'm a doctor.
Yeah. And you're like, okay, that's like the beauty industry as well. You have to have experience. You have to kind of, know how it works and, know how to grow.
Yeah. And that's when you'll know when you're ready to hire someone.
Yeah.
Either you know when you're ready because it's time to grow, or you just say to yourself, I'm comfortable where I'm at.
Yeah.
So there's some that are solo estheticians are happy with it, and there's some that are like, hey, maybe on board, maybe one person or two people to kind of stay like a niche, small, like high-end salon with a few brow artists
I will say
nail artists.
You need to have some sort of entrepreneurial vision, which I naturally do not have. You do. So you help me see this vision,
Yeah.
So you have to be a leader. I'm not naturally that way. I've had to learn how to, and I'm still learning.
Yeah.
You naturally are a leader and an entrepreneur. So you have to have that want, that desire.
If you don't
inside
have
of you.
that, I recommend just read books.
Yeah.
Just books are the best educational thing you can do is go get a couple books on being an entrepreneur, on, salon industry or something like that. Like our podcast obviously is going to give you some informative because we deal with it, but read some books. Go to Udemy and get an online course on certain, things that you want to learn, just little things. But that's what I would recommend. And then watch our podcast.
Subscribe here.
That's going back to like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Leave us a comment. Help us grow so we can reach out to estheticians and salon owners like yourself, so they can, it makes it easier. We failed at some stuff. We learned, and then we are successful at some stuff. So we just want to give that information out.
Yep. So what challenges do salon owners face when hiring?
Hiring the right person.
Yeah, that's the first and foremost.
Onboarding is the hardest part. Like
Yes.
you put an Indeed out, and you put what you want. Like you have to work X amount of days. You have to be experienced in X, Y, Z. You should be able to stand up 6-7 hours a day, lift 5 pounds, stuff like that. And then you get granular with it. You have to know how to do lash lifts.
We used to not to get as granular. And remember, we would have people that had like their only experience was like Chili's. I'm like, okay, it's not gonna work out. Like you have to
I
have some
used to
sort of beauty experience.
I did it like 5 years ago. 5 years ago.
Yeah. Or like I went to beauty school 10 years ago. Okay,
so you can't just used to have your license. Like, one person you interviewed didn't even have a license.
She didn't have a license, and I just figured that
she had good work.
Yeah, very good work.
And I was like, what? I don't get it.
Yeah. So
the
hiring process.
Hiring and the process. So when they come in, not just that hiring, when they come in, they understand your culture. They understand they're basically your twin, right?
Yep.
You want it to be, you want them to mirror you. So when you're sitting down and you're training them, that's another part we get into.
Yes.
Training. Then you get into training them the right way. They can't bring bad habits from their previous job salon they worked with, or if they were a solo esthetician, and sometimes we get a lot of solo estheticians that come actually start working for salon.
Yeah.
And we don't want their bad habits, or it's not even bad habits. We have certain things, certain way we run our business where we've been successful, and if it's a formula that's working, we want it to continue. And then and then from there they actually like, oh my God, this is really cool.
Yeah.
Like, this is good, makes it seamless for us. So that's nothing. And then back end of it is payroll. So I recommend not doing it on your own and just getting a software system. So we use Gusto. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. If that's the way you pronounce it. But there's so many payroll companies out there. Pay the money for it.
Yep.
Get it.
It kind of does it
manages for you. I mean, it doesn't. You got to still put in all this stuff, input the hours and tips and stuff like that. But it does everything for you. So I think that would be the challenges of it. But the hardest part is hiring the right person, and then payroll, and then training them. So,
And with hiring the right person, I would say, don't just do one interview. Like we always,
that's a you problem because she'll interview the first person. Oh my God, she's so amazing. She's
what we do is,
and I'm like, okay, listen.
What we do is he
in the beginning it was like that.
Screens every person. So he does the screening.
Yeah, well, we do that. We didn't do that at the beginning. We learned. So that's what I'm saying. So this is the process we do. We get really granular on what we put on Indeed. Yes, the conversion rates. Yes, you're going to pay more for leads,
and you might not get as many.
You might get, but it's worth it because you're
weeding all the people out.
You're weeding all the ones that are not
chilies
for you. Then when you get them, we do a two interview process before the actual interview process. I do like, hey, let me do a 15-minute phone call with you. Then I kind of understand them because I'm getting to the point where I can read people, I can understand people over the phone. And then from there, I'm like, all right, so I do the initial phone interview. I'm going to, Naomi's going to be the next person. Then you speak to them on the phone. And then you'll be like, okay, I think they're, good fit. And then we do the in-person interview. And that's when you see when they come in, how they present themselves, if their brows don't look good, or this is our industry. If you like our nail industry, their nails don't look, you're like, okay. And then they're not dressed up.
You want to be professional. I mean, I want it professional and, punctual. And also, I want your eyes to light up when you tell me about brows. I want you to have that passion. You're not just doing it for...
It is a passion.
Whatever
This
reason,
is an industry where it's a passion. So, you have to make a living. You have to make money. But the ones that are really successful is because of their passion. Mm-hmm. They go over and above and beyond.
And they love people.
And they get repeat customers. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, every episode I bring up the word retention. In this industry, if your retention rate is like below 20%, there's something wrong. Either you're not doing good customer service, either your work is not good, or you're just not doing a good job to capture the customer again after they leave. So it has to be above 50% to be successful in this industry. I mean, it can go down to 45, but you want it to be between 50 to 60% is the industry. Like 5 out of 10 people that visit you should come back to you. Mm-hmm. So that's the formula for success.
What mindset shift is needed when going from a solo entrepreneur to a team leader?
So my approach is you got to become like a head coach. You got to become like a manager. Imagine of a team like the Lakers or some team. You become the manager, so you got to be a head coach. You got to lead them. If anything fails, you're the one that you're accountable. You're responsible. There's no finger pointing. Oh, it's because no.
No, it all comes down to you.
You're the head coach. The way you train them, the way you guide them, the way we send out monthly emails, positive affirmation, like stuff we say to them, like, hey, thank you for the amazing work, which they are. Like, we're not like trying to, fluff it and be like, oh no, thank you for such amazing work that you do. Thank you for all that you do for us, and customers coming back. And if it wasn't for you, our team, we wouldn't have the success we have. So you got to be a leader and lead the right way and take responsibility.
And also always being I'm constantly in contact with all of my employees, like every single day. Every day that they work, I talk to them because I want to know. Well, you want to know what's going on in your business, A, and B. We have a location in California, so we're not there physically. So we have to be present.
Right. So imagine imagine it's a game. You have to approach it with a game plan, right? So you approach every day with a game plan, or every month, every week with a certain game plan. Our game plan for this month is we want to promote this service, or we're kind of slow on this service. We want to promote a deal for that. So that's your game plan, is to do that for that month and send out emails, post on Instagram. But you want to build a system around it. What movie was it that was really good based on that? It's the McDonald movie. What actor? That's the Batman actor.
Because they
built a system,
and they do
watch
it every single.
I recommend watch that McDonald movie, and how they organized the system, and how they made the burgers faster, and they fried the fry, and they made it a fast food. And
Well, even with our salons, they're all exactly the same, pretty much. Like I set everything up exactly the same, so it can be seamless. Everybody knows, so it's not all over the place,
yeah, but
organized. And
you have a brand. You have to let your team members understand your brand. You have a vision. How you explain your vision is your responsibility as a leader. And if the team starts, if the ship sinks, you're sinking with the ship, and you're responsible. But that's your mindset. Like, what can I do to make myself better every day to make my team members better? That's your approach should be,
and
then,
always be there for support. Like if they need anything, I'm
Yeah.
constantly asking, do you need anything? Do you want to do more classes? Do you want to do more shadowing? Do you want to do more, whatever they need?
yeah. And then your vision should be just growing all the time. You have to pivot in this industry. You can't stay stagnant. You can't, if you're still booking appointments with phone calls, you got some problems. If you're just booking appointments just through DMs, you have problems. I'm serious.
I mean, unless you don't want to be that busy.
You got to do it all ways. Like, all right, you want to book your appointment through DM? Cool. This is, here's my link to book an appointment. Or just be like, I need your name, your phone number, your email. Do you feel comfortable giving me your credit card over the DM? No, here's the link.
Also, that's just so much more work for you. And we've talked about this with other episodes, but
But when you're solo
make
esthetician, you can do that.
But
you
still,
don't want to do that.
Like you want to make it as easy for yourself as possible.
And that's why they're not growing, because
it's too much
they're
work.
unproductive. It's the 80-20 book. You should go another book you should read. How 20% of the work actually makes 80% of the profit of your business, because you're doing less work, but it's more productive and you're making more money off of it. You're not sitting there sending out text messages. You're not sitting there answering phone calls 24. We have an automated phone call that picks up, hey, if you want to book an appointment, press 1. And then it comes to us. Then we pick up the phone, we're like, hey, you want to book an appointment? Our link is on our website. Whatever I see, you see on our system. But it just, that's the way to, I know you want to be a leader. I'm just mumbling. I forgot my thought process. So,
Which path is more profitable in 2025, solo or team?
it's going to be team. More people, more overhead, more spending, but more money to make. So you look at your numbers. You look at hourly, how much you pay them, cost of marketing, and stuff like that. So that's in the beginning when I said like the first 3-4 months, you're going to be in the yellow light. I give it the green light, yellow light, red light. If you're in the red light, that means you're not profitable. You're losing money. Yellow, you're breaking even. Green, you're profitable. So when you have a team, you can be in the yellow, maybe red in the beginning. You got to focus on the retention rate, and that's how that works.
How do finances differ between the two?
So for example, when you're a solo esthetician, when you use Square or certain booking systems, if you're a solo esthetician, sometimes it's free, right? If you have a team, when you're growing, let's say now you have a team of 2, 3, 4 brow artists, now you have to spend more money on your booking system. You want to onboard this person, depending on the volume, how many employees you have, the cost goes up. Then you have to do payroll. Let's say now you have to have Gusto, or that's the only one I use. But you have to pay monthly for that. Then you have to pay for your insurance now, and then rent. The rent, if you're in a space that can handle the workload of these team members, the rent's going to stay the same. But if you're growing and you want to go into a bigger studio or bigger store, now you want to go to a storefront, the cost of rent goes up. When the cost of rent goes up, cost of electricity goes up. Cost of electricity goes up. Supplies and all that stuff. So cost goes up, but you make more money because you're pulling in more customers. So as a solo, you don't have to worry about that. You're consistent with your consistency of the supplies to have, your rent. Booking system can be free, or if you want a premium version, you pay $30 for every person you onboard. You pay extra 20. I'm just making numbers up, but I'm saying the cost is going to go up when the more people that's involved with your business.
And then how does marketing change when you're solo versus when you have a team?
So not much changes in the way you do your marketing. The marketing should always be consistent. The cost of ad spend goes up. So let's say you were an esthetician and you only worked on Monday through Friday, right? And you only worked from 8 to 5. So I'm very cost effective. The way I do my ads is I try to not waste my money on ads. So I'll run ads on Monday through Friday between certain times. But then when you onboard someone, now you're going to run it 7 days a week, more hours.
If they're not busy, then you want to run more.
You increase your ad spend. So ads is probably going to be the biggest expense that you can double your ad spend. And then as you start getting busier, you start lowering it down, the ad spend. Looking at me like that. You start lowering your ad spend per month or per week, depending on, I'm starting to get busy, retention rate's doing well, we're getting a lot of social proof, stuff like that. And maybe you want to, post more on social media, but that's more of you doing it yourself, unless you hire someone to do it for you, which you can. Once you get to a point where I can't handle the workload, then I hire a social media team to do that for me. So it's all about marketing and ad spend, but that's where most of your money is going to be spent on, on the marketing aspect of it. But other than that, everything else should remain, I'd just say Google and Facebook ads. You probably want to double it in the beginning and then gradually bring it down. Or if you onboard more people, keep it, increase it. What's the risk of hiring too early?
Well, first of all, financial strain. If you hire too early and you're not busy and your books are not busy, then that person's just going to be sitting there. You're going to be paying them for sitting there, and you're not making any money off of it. So you're literally just draining yourself, right?
Right.
It could also be you not finding a truly good fit because
you rush
are
it.
Just rushing to
to
hire
us,
whoever.
Which happened to us.
We have had that happen.
I mean, we got horse. Should we say we'll save that for another day.
Yeah. And then like that. Well, that goes back to like financial strain, empty chairs as well, because if you're not booked,
and on top of that, you're running ads, so
Yeah.
you're spending ad money, empty chair, paying for booking system that it's not being utilized. So it's money being burnt, but that's the risk you take.
Yeah.
But
if you're doing it too soon.
When you don't plan it right,
Yes.
you're going to be wasting money
Yes.
too early. That's why you have to look at how well you're booked. How are you managing your ads? Because the way you run your ads is very important. But yeah, I think it'll hurt you financially if you don't do it the right way, especially if you hire too early or you don't even know what you're doing when you're hiring. So gain your experience. Like we only hired when we were turning down appointments. Mm-hmm. That's when we're comfortable.
And I was booked
weeks in advance. So
and I couldn't take the workload. I was going into burnout. I was going to have a baby. It was just too much. So that's when we decided it was the right time.
Yeah. So if we're out to have a debate right now, solo versus team, what advice would you give?
Well, if you want freedom in your lifestyle, that's a priority to you. If you have been in the industry for a long time doing it solo, you want to start a family, you want to, just have more freedom in your own life. That would be a really good.
So if you want more freedom and your lifestyle to be prioritized towards freedom, solo esthetician to be. Okay. And then long term, when you want to grow, when you want to scale out and you want to make money, then you want to be a salon owner. So it's either more time to watch Netflix and enjoy.
Chill.
Well, yeah, I don't want to say you're being lazy. Everyone has their own.
But some people are happy and content.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
in that, and that's
I don't want to
fine.
ever use the word lazy. Some people are just happy with where they are.
Also, too, I think because it is a lot to manage all of these people and do all of this. We have each other to help us, but if I was by myself doing it or he was by himself doing it, it would be a much different situation. Okay. So the fact that we have each other, and it's such an asset,
Yeah.
you know?
That's the one thing I learned. Someone told me, don't ever be a solopreneur.
Yeah.
Be an entrepreneur.
With
Build a
somebody,
team.
yes.
Yeah. So if you're solopreneur, that means I can do it. I want to do
Either
this,
do
this,
it
that.
with somebody that
can't.
you super, close with, you trust, something like that, because then you have somebody to lean on.
Yeah.
But a lot of the people that I see that are solo waxers or estheticians, they don't have anybody out there by themselves. And so that's why it's also hard for them to grow, even if they do have, aspirations for it. But
Yeah.
doing it by yourself completely is hard. So
Yeah. I think you should sit down and just vision yourself 3 years from now or 2 years from now. If you're comfortable with where you at, great. If you sit down and you envision, like I always do, like a meditation, like a sit down and vision everything for like 5-10 minutes if I ever have time to meditate. And I vision like, oh, me driving in my, new car, going to my castle or this, and I'm visioning it. And the way I vision is I look at my salon growing, my team growing. If you have that vision and you your work ethic as well, and less time to, sometimes I'm in the office and you're like, you'll tell me and you try to make me feel bad, or your son's growing, you're not going to be able to see him. I'm like, I have to be in the office. I got to do payroll. I have to do I have to put this video out. I have to, do this. I have to, stuff you have to do. You can't procrastinate it, because then,
with great responsibility comes great reward. But you just have to be able to handle that responsibility.
Yeah. I think that
was the last question.
Unless you want a bonus question.
What's the bonus?
I don't know. But anyways, like, subscribe, leave us a comment. We're getting into really good, some interesting things coming up for us.
Yes.
We're actually, our Austin location, we're growing. Like, we feel like we expanded. We're one room, but we're 3 brow artists now. And I think it's time for us to grow. So starting this week, or we already started from last week, but this week, generally, I think we're going to do a little not documentary, but we're going to
docu-series.
Something.
What would you call it?
Where we're going to be opening a storefront in Austin, and we want to kind of record it and make a little docu-series,
like our little journey
to show everyone, hey, this is us in the beginning, and this is what we're going through. Finding the right location, which this location that, we found one location that we love. We don't know if we're going to get it. You always put your application, but hopefully, and then we can start our journey on how we found it. We have to remodel it, and then we have to hire probably like another couple brow artists, maybe one, I would say, to start off with 4, and then show you guys our path and our journey on how we're doing this. I think that would be a really cool.
Yeah. Very exciting.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Big
more than
thanks.
episodes. So we're gonna have reels and stuff like that coming out.
Yeah.
And I think our next episode we're gonna talk about how to pick, to know if you should have a storefront or a like working in a solo
Salon Republic or that kind of
solo loft, or what are Salona? What are the other ones? Salon.
What did you call it?
Salona.
Salon lofts.
No, but the other ones.
Oh.
Are we? Anyways, we don't get paid to promote these.
Of course we don't. We have 2 subscribers.
10.
Really?
Yeah, 10 subscribers now.
Wow.
Anyways, have a great week.
See you next week.
We'll see you next week. Hopefully, if we make another episode. No, we get so busy with kids that we.
Well, also too, I go to LA once a month. So last week I was in LA.
Yeah.
So that's
but we
why
didn't make 2 episodes, but I messed up on the second episode.
Why?
My camera didn't work.
Oh yeah. You know what? These are the things that happen in real life.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else, Darylyn?
No, that's all. Bye.